Ralph Fiennes plays the he who shall not be named villain in Harry Potter. You know what? I'm just gonna say Voldemort because Professor McGonagall gave me the V-word pass in Deathly Hallows. Okay, so please, don't question my usage of the term Voldemort. I'm allowed to say it. Okay? Thank you. According to a statement provided by Ralph Fiennes himself, in response to an interview with Variety about whether or not he might return as Voldemort, he responded with the following. Sure, of course, no doubt about it. So, this is where we need to start remembering some vital context. At first glance, it looks like Ralph is saying that he is definitely returning as Voldemort, but that might not be the case. And I think that's for the best in my opinion, because Ralph Fiennes is being asked about returning as Voldemort right now. But if Warner Brothers were to not ask him to play Voldemort, he wouldn't do it because he wasn't asked. But if Warner Brothers were to hit him right now, the question to whether or not he would agree to play Voldemort is pretty much answered in this Variety interview. This is where he confirmed that in such a hypothetical scenario where they're going to bring back Voldemort to the Harry Potter franchise, then Ralph Fiennes is basically saying that he would be inclined to play Voldemort again. And I hope that such a scenario doesn't exist, because it is going to spell absolute disaster for Warner Brothers Pictures. Like, there has been more than enough when it came to major franchises screwing up the excellence of the last one, and Voldemort just returning somehow reminds me of Palpatine returning in Star Wars. Like, imagine Hermione, Ron, or Harry Potter. One of them are like, somehow Voldemort has returned because of a secret cloning spell through magic. Just no. And besides, the Horcruxes have been eliminated from the equation. So how are we supposed to bring him back? Unless they want to retcon J.K. Rowling's perfect ending. And it might even minimize the effort that it took for 8 movies to defeat Voldemort, which would then minimize Snape's sacrifice at the end, and so many others who have sacrificed their lives, reputation, especially Snape. You know, his role as double agent wasn't easy. I mean, he lost who he believed to have been the love of his life, and everyone saw him as this monster. You know, and he was the only one who knew what the overarching plan of leading Harry to defeating Voldemort was meant to be. And he had to sacrifice people knowing who he truly was. Having Voldemort return would minimize everything. Like, you'd have no idea how relieved I am that just because Ralph Fiennes said in the statement that, okay, I would return as Voldemort if the studio were to pay me to do so. I mean, that's the way I perceive it. So, the less that Warner Brothers thinks of this idiotic idea, the better. What do you think about the notion of Ralph Fiennes returning as Voldemort? Do you think his statement has any bearing of Voldemort returning to the Wizarding World anytime soon? Do you think that just because they can, doesn't mean that they should? Or maybe they could do a Voldemort prequel, which isn't that far off from the timeline of Harry Potter. Who knows? Or maybe, just maybe, you want he who shall not be named to return. Regardless, let me know your thoughts and opinions about Ralph Fiennes returning as Voldemort in the comment section below or our Twitter inbox at Cinema Courtroom.